Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the Global Taste. Today we have Chef Noel. He will be joining us today from Toronto. Happy Cinco de Mayo Day. I hope you have a Cinco de Mayo drink or Chef Noel grilled pineapple scotch bonnet margarita drink. So we're going to be waiting for him. So Chef Noel is coming on soon. So in the meantime, let me give you a little information about him. Chef Noel is a Jamaican Canadian award-winning chef. He's an author, definitely a food writer, and a culinary consultant. He started in the industry pretty much very, very young. And now he's pretty much doing his thing in Toronto. So we're going to be talking to him shortly. He just logged on and hear his journey. Stay tuned. He's coming on now. Just waiting for the connection to go.
Hey, we're up and we're live.
Hi,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been rushing, because I just finished my radio show.
Right.
Yes, I
Welcome.
just leave that to this. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining the convo for today.
Oh yes, and it's a great day. It's Cinco.
Yes, I have my grilled pineapple scotch
All right.
bonnet margarita. I made it.
Yeah, so before we get started, I'm gonna make mine live here for everyone.
Right.
So let's get mixing. Alrighty, guys. So today I'll be making a grilled pineapple and scotch bonnet margarita. So when I think about it, we like rum from the Caribbean, right? Even though this is a
Right.
Mexican, celebration when the Mexican overthrew the French, back in 18 when. So I'm making this cocktail now because I like to, as a chef, I like to add food to my cocktail or some food notes, right? So I grill the pineapple so that way while you're sipping, you're smelling, and when you smell, it elevates your taste. And let's get into it. So what we need is our glass. So we need to rim our glass, lime right here. And let me add that when you see your garnish on your cocktail, it's not just for decoration, but it's to add flavor as well.
Definitely.
So we need to put some salt on the rim. There we have it. Let's get our ice inside. And when you're making your cocktail, you like lots of ice. So keep your cocktail, very cool, and it helps the flavor. So this is the trick now in the cocktail is a Scotch bonnet simple syrup. It's just sugar, water reduced with a scotchy. So we don't need lots of this, just like 0.5 ounce. You seem good? You seem good?
Yep.
Yeah, that's. So once you have that, we need
Some
some
lime juice.
splashes of lime juice, like 1, 2, 3, and you're good. No, I don't use measurement for my rum. I'm not driving. I'm not driving. I'm not going nowhere. So
No,
why measure?
this
So we
is the
just
day.
pour. So we pour until the ancestors say, "Stop, my son." Then we need some pineapple juice to top it off. A straw a straw just in case you need a straw, and our grilled pineapple, a lemon wedge, our wheel, and here's your
Cheers.
cocktail. Cheers.
Cheers. I love Ray and Nephew rum. It's like one of my favorite rums.
Yeah,
Behind Babaku.
yeah.
That's like my favorite rum. So Chef Noel, guys, I hope you guys have your grilled pineapple scotch bonnet margarita. If not, it's okay. The recipe is located on both of our platforms. Please save it, screenshot it so you can make it in your own spare time.
Oh
But in the
yes.
meantime, I hope you guys have, something to sip on in honor of Cinco de Mayo. So we're gonna get right to it. So Chef Noel, so I read a lot of articles about you, and
Yes.
I know you wanted to become a teacher. Then you
Oh,
wanted to
yes.
go towards a soldier. Then you deeply had a love for entertainment. You wanted to
Yeah.
become an actor and comedian. Then you was into a little bit of fashion, like clothing and textile, but you didn't see yourself as a tailor. Then the light above, and when the subject of food and nutrition presented
Yeah.
itself, you decided to be a chef. Describe your food and hospitality journey with everyone who's tuning in right
All right. Thanks for that question and thanks for your research.
now.
All righty. Yeah. So, I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, and with mom and, three sisters. I'm the only boy, of course, in the house, the king. And
Hmm.
so, so mom is always cooking. I'm there with her, cooking in the kitchen, asking questions. And I never think about being a chef at the time.
Right.
Then my aunt, now who is a professional chef, I would always be around her, doing stuff. Then I went to visit her one day and she introduced me now to Food Network. That was like 19 years
Yeah.
ago. To Food Network. And I'm like, I saw Bobby Flay, Rachel, Ray, Paula, Dean, and Emerald, bam. And I'm like, I like this because it sounds, I'm like, oh, you're a child. But back then, even 19 years ago, back then,
Hmm.
being a chef wasn't a career, really.
Right.
Even 19 years ago, it was more of just a skill. Who don't have subjects or who don't have CXC or can't afford to go university, do that.
Hmm. More
So
of
when
a
I said, okay,
vocation.
I'm gonna do, yeah. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I realized doing food and nutrition will get me on the path to become a chef. So it's so funny. The first time I signed up, it was for food and beverage. I thought that was cooking because I heard food and beverage, but that was, front of the house. So I changed that, with luck. Then it so happened that when I leave, I wanted to go to, I was in high school, no, cooking. I got first place in food and nutrition at an award. I'm like, okay, I like this. It working. I did it again. I'm doing my SB and stuff and getting A's. And I realized, oh, I'm good at this thing. And
Right.
I felt myself pretty comfortable doing it. Then when I left high school now, I didn't have no intention or ambition to go to university to do anything. Just
Right.
cooking, cooking on my thing. So my dream school is Runaway Hard because as a kid growing up, I would watch creative cooking on TV and I would see all these chefs. Then when the show ends, you would see Runaway Heart, Chef First, and I'm like, that's the school I want to go. And I signed up and they said, yo, you can't get in, it's very hard, you won't get through, it take 10 years to get through. I said, look, I'm gonna get through.
Right.
And I signed up and I got through in no time. And I did level one, level two, and it was a great journey. It was a good journey doing it and doing what you love, especially. And it doesn't feel like work when you're actually doing what you love.
Right. I definitely agree.
Yeah,
Passion is definitely key to success when you're so passionate in something. Like
yeah.
you don't see, like you don't think about anything else but just the passion about making
Yeah,
the best
yeah,
thing in your career. Like being from the Caribbean, right? And
yeah.
food plays a significant part in families, especially like we're from the Caribbean. So,
Yeah.
like Sunday dinner is very important in our
Oh, yeah.
culture. Everybody gathers around the
Yeah.
table. What is your earliest and first meal that you created from that time when you said, you know what, I can do this? The first meal.
Alrighty. So what I did now is I started doing experiment on Sundays for the family where I use Sunday now, to cook. So I'll say, Mom, I'll cook. And so my first meal that I did really was like potato wedges and I season these and I bread them and this become like a Sunday special now. Every Sunday we gotta have some wedges. And I remember I did this passion baked chicken, passion fruit baked
Hmm.
chicken that I did. And then that become a thing now in the house. So I can remember the passion baked chicken, the passion fruit baked chicken, and the potato wedges for sure.
What was the feedback from your mom and your aunt, knowing the fact that your aunt is a professional chef
Yeah.
and, I'm sure she has high expectations.
She does, and even to this day, she's like one of my biggest critics. Which is good. It's good when you have people in your corner who can, you know that they love you, but they can straighten you at the same time. And
Yep.
it's done with love, right? And I will still need people like those around me. So back then they would tell me like, this was a bit salty, this was a bit too sweet, maybe fry this less, stuff like that. And I use those. So each week what I did, I go back next week, do my homework, and that's how it come bigger and better, each time.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
definitely good. So from the time when you know this career was for you, and then through the journey, then you became working as a head chef, and you was a restaurant
Yeah.
manager at Cafe Mantra,
Yeah.
and also you was featured in Vibes Cuisine as a
Yeah.
next chef to watch. Describe
Yeah.
that moment, and was that the confirmation for you that you know that you're on the right path?
Oh yes. So when I leave Runaway Heart now and St. John, I got a call to go to Kingston to work as a cook. My friend was the consulting chef. So he asked me to come there and just, help out. I said, okay. Then 2 months later now, the boss called me that she want to talk to me. Hey, Noel, I want to talk to you. I said, oh, Lord. She's like, I got fired. The boss want to talk to me. And me and the boss and a friend like that. So
Right.
we're not friends boss over there. so so she said that, that she's been observing me and she wanted to know if I would be able to take the position of the kitchen manager slash head chef. And I'm like, so she gave me the weekend to think about it. So I asked my mentor at the time, like, what do you think? And of course, he's a person not gonna say yes or no. He's gonna ask you, what do you think? Can you manage it? And I'm like, so he gave me that note to think about, and I'm like, look, nothing tried, nothing done. I'm gonna go and do it. I
Right.
accepted it. And I was 21 at the time, and I'm like, I like challenge, right? And that's the only way you can grow. So I said,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna do it. Then I started doing it now, and then the lady from Vibes Cuisine, which Vibes Cuisine, I like the show. It was a great show. She always loved the restaurant, always eating, always. And she asked me one day, no, can we do an interview with you? I'm like, sure. And the day when I was doing that interview, it was my first sit down interview, like talking my story and my journey and stuff. And I pretty much enjoyed that interview. And it was a big deal, of course, to be on Vibes Cuisine. It
Yeah.
was a show that's on top. And I did the interview, and I'm like, wow, I like this. And I didn't watch the interview at first because I was shy. I don't want to see myself or hear myself. So it came on when I was in the country. I saw the end of it. And that interview came on television, like repeat, repeat so many times. And during that time, my nephew, now who was like a baby, he loved to see Uncle on TV. And he always jump up and happy. So he said, oh, Uncle, I want to be like you. And then from that moment now, I realized, okay, my nephew is observing me. I guess I got to be a role model for my nephew. So I don't think he want to be a chef, but I think he's motivated by what I'm doing. And then, of course, once you do one press, then more press gonna come on in. So by that time, I did like the Glean and Observer and other media, and I did Entertainment Report, a local show there, which I did
Right.
a vibe cartel thing at the time, like World Boss, and that kind of went viral. And so it's from there things started to take off, and as Cooking Sense magazine would say, Noel went on his culinary catwalk since then.
Wow. Wow. So like
That
I know
journey,
like
it's lots of stories.
it's a lot, but it's beautiful to see that when you see your passion in cooking and it fostered to, being the head chef of the restaurant manager, having a great, tribe, like team around you to guide you to the place and to the point that your nephew even
Yeah,
being inspired to being like you, even though like motivated, which is really great, and especially that he's young, it's definitely beautiful to see
yeah,
like the journey beginning. So my question, because earlier in the conversation you said, you're cooking on Sundays dinner, and in in your culture, chef was not really a career.
yeah,
How has your culture? Because I know you was born in Jamaica, did your
yeah,
whole career in Jamaica, and then you transitioned into working in Canada.
yeah,
How has your culture helped you with your transition from the Caribbean now going to another country?
yeah,
Because I know you worked in Manitoba
yeah,
Hotel,
Manitoba, yeah,
Manitoba as the executive chef.
Yeah.
And how did your culture play a role into that?
All right. So the culture now, of course, no offense to you or other Caribbean people, but we Jamaican, yeah, we Jamaicans see already, we are different with things, we are different with place. And so most people, they're when they think about the Caribbean, the first thing that might come to mind is Jamaica, because they think about Bob Marley, reggae music,
Right.
Usain Bolt, not that the others don't have great people, but I think, we just stand out a bit to them in their mind, especially persons who live so far up. So when I came here, it was a different experience because in Manitoba, persons will be driving past and they're like looking, seeing black people, and I'm like, so sometimes I'm like looking at myself like, what's wrong? Until I realized that there wasn't any black person there at the time until we
Hmm.
went there back in 2013. Plus, when it's like winter now,
Oh,
as
it's cold.
when it's winter now, you're all, covered up and stuff. So
Yep.
when spring and summer now, they say, oh, black people there, man. So being a Jamaican here, it helped because Jamaica itself is a brand. So people want to associate with you. They want to learn your culture, and it's just up to you to teach them and show them, and remove some of those negativity that they might think about the Caribbean itself. And they want to explore. Plus, these people, they travel a lot, right? So
Right.
they'll say, oh, jerk chicken, and they start to talk about food and telling them about ackee and saltfish. So the culture itself help, especially now in a time when it's all about diversity, right?
Right.
So for us, it's so for them, they were learning about us, and I had to learn the old Canadian culture as well, because it's a different culture. The lifestyle is different, totally
Definitely,
different.
especially the weather.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Definitely weather. So which led me to my next question. You said they were very receptive about learning the culture and also their
Mhm.
cuisine. Do you feel that while you're living in Canada at that moment, the misconception about Jamaica kind of, eradicate a little bit, like what they thought probably changed based on you being there and educating them in the cuisine?
Not, I don't think it changed, especially in Manitoba, really. I think when I moved to Winnipeg, it changed a lot because I remember one Sunday I was on the floor working, doing dining, and a guy said to me, oh, do you know Dudas? I said, the same way in which you know him, that's the same way in which I know him through the television. So that's, a gang leader in Jamaica. So they know what's up, they know what's happening, and it makes no sense for me to pretend like it's all good, it's all great when it's not. So I explained it to them that look, here in Manitoba, Thompson, Manitoba, where was Thompson itself,
Yeah.
has the most crime in Canada.
Wow.
And I've never seen a yellow tape. I've never heard gunshots. I've never, it's not like a garrison, like a ghetto. So I said to them, it's the same thing. Everywhere it's good, everywhere it's bad. And they will say, oh, I heard that Jamaica is this. I heard that Jamaica, we can't go outside because, all these travel sites, right?
Right.
They put up all these restrictions and these warning. But these travel sites, all they do is promote what's bad.
Right. Never the positive.
Yeah. So as a Jamaican now living in Thompson, I think it was my job now to promote what's good. So I would tell them about the beaches, the parties, like, hey, we have Dream Weekend in August, we have Sumfest, we have this. Tell them about Dunsville Park, show them pictures. So at the time, I felt like I was an ambassador now for Jamaica, trying to promote the good. And each of us, when we leave our country, I think that's what we are, an unofficial ambassador. So,
I definitely agree with that. My background, I'm Haitian, so I definitely can relate to that because I know
yeah,
when I'm traveling or even within the United States, when I'm telling somebody I'm Haitian, they're like,
yeah,
"Who? Like, is poor, is ghetto?" And sometimes I
yeah,
have to pull out my phone and say, "No, we have beaches,
yeah,
we have parties.
yeah,
Yes, there's some parts that's very dangerous, and there's some
yeah,
parts that you want to live your life beautifully." So I definitely can relate and connect and understand to that.
yeah,
And that's I would say, an ongoing conversation. And I feel like it's our responsibility as native, also diasporas, to
yeah.
be leading in the narrative because we can't rely on the media to
Mhm.
narrate, our country's
You're the media
heritage,
thing, you're the
culture,
media thing.
music,
Yeah.
food, and all, which led me to want to talk about like your book.
Mhm.
So with your journey, let's talk about Cuisine by Noel. To confirm, it launched last year around November.
Yeah.
So a culinary journey through recipes and story. I know it's filled with like 100 easy following recipes, quick for
Yeah.
someone who's a novice in cooking and a person who's really good at cooking. What was the
Yeah.
inspiration in developing the book? And also share personal stories, because I know I hear that there's personal stories in there.
Yeah. Alrighty. So that's a very good question now. So back to high school now, I was thinking, so when I had lots of recipes, right, by watching different food shows and researching. So I started writing down my favorites. Oh, I want to do a recipe book. But of course, we need more time and experience and all these stuff. So back in 2016, the ideas came to me, I need to do a book. That's when I started doing writing, food writing for like the Jamaica Gleaner, the I started doing for like Cooking Sense magazine and contributing to Jamaican Eats magazine and all these different sites.
Right.
So I'm thinking of all these recipes. Why not do a book? I am doing food writing. But then I thought, like, what would make my book really, different? Like for someone to really purchase the book or even care to read it. So I really took the time to allow the book itself to come to me, the ideas to come to me, instead of me just thinking, oh, I need to do a book. So it came to me in parts. Like I heard like journey, culinary. So the title was the name of the book should have been A Culinary Journey Through Recipes and Stories. And so I started writing with that in mind. Then I said, but it's my style, it's my way of doing things. Why not say Cuisine by Noel? Because as a Jamaican chef, or as a chef from the Caribbean, we Jamaican, we like rice and peas and jerk chicken and curry goat and oxtail.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the Jamaican chef who want to be in a box.
Right.
Who just known to the chef who do the porridge and oxtail and Jamaican food. I want to introduce good food. Not that we don't have good food, but food with a flair and food with a difference to Jamaican people / Caribbean people, as well as introduce the Caribbean food now to persons who are in Canada. So Cuisine by Noel now is just a bridge between all these people. We lost you? What happened?
Sorry.
I thought they disappear. I'm like, ooh,
no, I'm here.
Yeah, man. So that's where the idea came from. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna incorporate my stories in the book because people are always asking, why did you become a chef? What motivates you? People are always asking questions, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna use this book to answer all these questions and just get rid of the questions there. So if you send me a question like, Chef Noel, why did you become a chef? Go get the book and you will know why. So it's so funny that the book end the way it should have started, which is very brilliant. It wasn't my honest idea, but it just flowed that way. So chapter 1 is early rise, where it's all about breakfast. I don't call it breakfast, but early rise. So early rise can be for you 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, based on your lifestyle. That's your early rise.
Right.
And so in that section, I have like my mom now has her pumpkin porridge in it, and that's my mom there making it. So it's not just my recipes, yeah, but some family favorites. And that's pumpkin porridge, which is healthy. Then I have like, frittata. Then we have parfait, wraps. And this is my favorite, the breakfast pizza is my favorite. So, most people wouldn't have pizza for breakfast, but it's bread, it's egg, it's sausage. Same thing like a sandwich, right?
Right, but
it's open, it's different. So this is like for the weekend, Mother's Day coming up, it's a nice, French toast. So in that chapter now, I share my story about finding my passion now, growing up in the house with mom and sisters and and then going to culinary school. Then chapter 2 now is a starter, appetizers. That's when I share my story now of going to Runaway Heart and what the journey was like during Runaway Heart, Then we have the entree now, leaving one of we are now going to mantra, which is the meat of the matter. That's where the journey really starts. Then I have Marveling now to Manitoba. So I live in Marvel in Jamaica to Manitoba now in Canada. So I share that journey, what it was like leaving Jamaica to Canada, because people always ask, or they ask, yo, come to Canada now, line up a link now, or rare, how did you do it, or stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. So I answer all these questions. I tell you that, you know, okay, the first time I was coming here, I wasn't ready. I came here by buck-ups. I didn't plan to live in Canada. I didn't want to be a Canadian. And, you know, I missed my flight the first time when I came here because I didn't want to be here. But I'm a very spontaneous person and like risk. So I signed up, I got through, and then, but I still wasn't ready to leave Jamaica at the time. So, you know, missed the flight, went to Manitoba, what it was like, you know. Because when I went there to Manitoba, I was told, you know, apartment is ready for you and stuff like that. When we came here, it was sleeping on the floor and stuff like that. So I share this personal story because a lot of people will see social media, everything looking all nice, and your numbers, you're on television, everything looking like you have a perfect life. And nobody has a perfect life. So I'm like, you know, I want to share this story because just in case, you know, next year when things blow up, for now when I see me, I'm a jet and Food Network and beer things, you can't bad mind me because Noel doing already. That's not impossible test already. So if you're struggling, that's your test phase you're going through. You know, so I share the story to motivate other chefs who are younger folks who want to become a chef. So like I started by saying, if I can make it, you can make it too. Right. And that's a quote, you know, just motivating somebody that, you know, if I know I can make it, then you definitely can make it.
I think it's important for chefs to be transparent and relatable to their patrons, is because, you know, I definitely agree with what you said. You know, when people see people on social media, they think everything is perfect. You did not have no struggle. You know, your process to your career was very smooth. But the fact that you shared your transparency in your book actually gives people like a window inside. Like, it wasn't easy. You know, I tried the first time, I tried the second time, you know, like you said, your apartment, you slept on the floor, you know, and it gives perspective chefs who are watching right now, chefs who are people who are transitioning into becoming a chef. Like, look, the process is not easy, but you have to keep going. You have to stay motivated, which is important. And, you know, and being Jamaican, you know, my question is like, why Canada? Because I have Jamaican friends as well. And the places that they mostly go to is London.
Yeah.
Compared to like Canada. Canada's kind of like second choice. So did you choose Canada because you wanted something completely, totally different than the, you know, usual when people, you know, decided to migrate somewhere?
Not really. I think Canada chose me really because, like, for me growing up, I was always the American boy. I like the Hollywood. I was telling somebody today, I like the Hollywood Boulevard. I like the Manhattan, you know, the building and the flashy, you know, the stuff and the different talk shows and different stuff and, you know, the fast life. I like that. But then I just applied random to Canada. So I traveled to the US first before I came to Canada, and I liked the US. Then I just randomly applied and I got a job for Canada. So my plan was to come to Canada and work for 2 years and then go back home and then start my business at the time, Cuisine by Noel. But then by the time I came, I became permanent resident. So I said, okay, I never asked for it, I'm gonna get it, take it. And then now, you know, by being here now, I became a citizen and I just go with the flow. And I even share that story in the book that sometimes you gotta go with the unknown instead of what you already have planned for your life. Because sometimes we just overthink our life and we plan too much. And when you plan too much, things doesn't go up because that's not the way it should go. But because you yourself directing your own path, then you're running out of trouble, you crash, you know. But sometimes if you just let go and just let things find its place, then, you know, it will really, really happen. And even sometimes I'm here, I'm like, really? I'm here in Canada? And it's so funny. I was listening to Joe. I was at home one night, you know, playing some music back in Thompson, and I was there. I'm like, what the hell I'm doing in Canada? All my family is back in Jamaica. My sister's in the US, my brother, 2 sisters in England. Like, why am I here in Canada all alone? And then I was going to work the next morning, and my friend in the car was listening to Joel Osteen.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel Osteen was preaching that whatever you have now in life, that's what you're supposed to have.
Right.
Wherever you're supposed to be, that's where you are now. And, enjoy the moment. And I'm like, this man is talking to me because
That's
last
a
night I
sign.
was questioning myself, and now he's saying this. And I'm like, okay, God,
That's
this
a
must be
sign.
you then. Okay, but now I complain. And I'm like, okay, I won't complain. So, and honestly, from then, it was a lesson for me just to be grateful for where I'm at and what I have, because I believe that this was just my time to maybe create my own path here in Canada and just do my own thing, because maybe if I was in the US, I'd have get caught up in the wrong company, the wrong crowd, get misguided or elsewhere. But I'm here now. It's a time for me just to be focused, no family, no this, just focus on your goals, Noel. That's what you're here for. And that's what I'm doing, exactly that.
Definitely. That was definitely a sign from the man above, God above, letting you know,
Oh,
like, this is for you. And it's great. I think as entrepreneurs, whether you're an
yeah,
entrepreneur, whether you work, corporate 9 to 5, like, we
yeah,
definitely have to be, I always agree and believe that you have to be in tune and follow the signs
yeah,
and go where you're supposed to go, but not forcing something. Because when something is for you, it's for
yeah,
you. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can block it because it's for
yeah.
you.
But
And
but to say this, it's so funny because back in 2015 October, right? I leave Thompson to Winnipeg. So I went to the US, visit my sister there tomorrow, and then I went to Jamaica now, a bruff and a party, having a good time. I came back to Canada just to move now to Winnipeg. First day in Winnipeg, I came back from Jamaica. I have all these plans now to live because Winnipeg is a city of
mhm.
Manitoba. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start a cookbook. I'm gonna go to college. Have all my plans lined up and ready to hit it. Then I felt, sick and all this stuff. And I'm like, Jamaican or Caribbean people, first thing say, get some what? Some tea, right?
Yeah.
So Andy said, get some ginger tea, and I get ginger tea, garlic tea, you name all the tea, I had it and everything. Then it so happened that it was appendicitis,
Mhm.
and I was, hospitalized. So I was in hospital for like 34 days, and I lost
Wow.
34 pounds.
Oh my
I lost
gosh.
34 pounds in hospital. I didn't even like to look in the mirror. I looked like I was preparing myself for some movie, like 50 Cent.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, because what happened is that, I was on like morphine and all these stuff. So the appendix, there was no more pain after a while, but the appendix ruptured. So I went to hospital the Tuesday, the clinic the Tuesday, went to hospital the Wednesday, did scan and stuff, stayed in there until the Friday they sent me out. The Saturday I got up doing some stuff. The Sunday morning was like pain, pain, pain. And I got some help to go to the hospital, and then it was surgery right away. So they had to do some incisions because they don't like to cut nail or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then fluid started to build up again. They had to do more incision. Then by the time I came out after 15 days, um, I couldn't eat. So I had to go back in now. So when I went back in now, that's when they had to cut me now below my navel now, cut and to wash and do, their
Yeah.
stuff. And I lost. And at the time, it was so good because I was living all alone in Winnipeg. And up to when we were on the sick bed, the landlord called me the rent same way. And I'm like, Miss, I won't be coming back to the apartment. And a friend of mine, um, took a pastor there and his wife to come and pray for me. Then they came and they prayed, and then they realized I have no family here. And that's when now these strangers move me now in their home. I don't know these people. And the wife, luckily the wife was a nurse, so she balled my head, ball, because I was building up dry scalp dandruff, and she balled my head now,
Wow.
and took care of me and doing stuff like that. So, and that was good. So there are good people out there. I'm just sharing that. And while I was there, I wanted to be on this TV show, the CTV Morning Live,
Mhm.
and I reached out to the producer a good while, and she never, reached back out. So while I was there now, recuperating and getting better, the producer emailed me, oh, Chef Noel, can you come on in to do an episode? I'm like, Lord, I guess this is a moment. Whitney was talking about one moment in time. So I said, okay, let me go. So I was still sick at the time when I went and did it. And it was so good because all I wanted was just to do one appearance. And they asked me to record two. And then from then, I built a relationship now with them. And I started doing Mark and Mandy's show. Then I wanted to go to college at the time. I spent all that money for college while I was sick. And I ended up now to do my grade 12, which I wasn't told that I need my grade 12 at the time for college. So I had to pause now. So while I was getting better now, I had to hit the road and start with my grade 12 so I can meet the next batch to go to college because I was determined I need to go to college. And when it happened, so I spent all that money now. So when it's time now for me now to go to college now, someone told me about this office that, they can give you grants to go to school and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm in. It's freeness, I'm in. So when I went, the lady said, oh, no, you're not qualified because, you were earning too much money in your past job. And I'm saying, but I am broke now. So what's the difference? And I felt bad, right? Of course. And I went to Scotia Bank. So I was thinking about loan, or I said, you know what, I'm going to work and I'm going to pay the school fee part, and I'm going to struggle it. I'm going to start thinking the way. And I went home, and it's so funny because I'm very spiritual. I mean, I'm going to have a different relationship. I talk to God like I talk to you or anybody. I'm going to say, I talk to him and say, yo, Father God, this is what I want to do, and rare, I mean, on the money. And it's so happened, no lie. The next day, the lady called me and said, oh, Chef Noel, I talked with my boss, and she said they can pay 75% of your school fee. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. And then she said to me, and what we can also do for you is that we can give you voluntary quit from your job, and then we will pay you to go to school.
That's a blessing.
And I'm like, okay. I was like, Cardi B, okay. So, even those stories, are in the book. So I share those because sometimes as a person, not even a chef, you're going about your life and you meet some detours. It's not your breaking point. It's your breakthrough moment.
Speaking.
Yeah. Next question.
Guys, for new people who are tuning in, welcome. Welcome for the stories that you just heard a few minutes ago. Please follow Chef Noel at I Am Chef Noel. The link to his book is there and it's on Amazon. Please purchase it if you want to learn more about his stories and his journey, as well as easy, quick recipes from breakfast all the way to dessert. Okay, guys? So let's take another route, Chef. Due to the fact that today is Cinco de Mayo, right? And you went to culinary school. And I know there's many chefs who have studied the culinary arts, and they always tend to experiment in their cooking. I have read that you like to infuse Jamaican with Italian. I'm not sure if it's still the same right now. Tell us some of your favorite fusion dishes that you're passionate about, you love cooking, and with everything.
Yeah. I like, Italian is just like, I think the main one, but I like to fuse with different culture, France, French cooking. But I like Italian cooking because I like food is universal, and I like those Italian stories with, those grandmother who they made their tomato sauce from scratch, and the pasta and the gnocchi and all these stuff. And it's somewhat similar to ours, and it's very rustic. So I try to be outside of the box to fuse, right? So, for example, now pasta, we all like a pasta. So it's like a simple jerk shrimp with a pasta. Italian wouldn't do jerk, but for us in Jamaica, we will do jerk. It's all about, a jerk, like an oxtail, lasagna, stuff like that I will do. But definitely, the pastas are my favorite. Gnocchi is also another one. It's similar to our dumpling, but it has a pasta texture as well. So definitely those two. I would say pasta, like jerk chicken pasta.
Jerky, like I had something similar to that here, but I know when I come to Canada, I'm definitely gonna want to taste your jerk and pasta. So when we talk about fusion, I read a report I read an article on the Rob Report, and they were stating, I think it was early this year or late last year, they were talking about, especially in California, Mexican fine dining is definitely getting the respect that it deserves. And another
Yeah.
article said that Mexican food has become embedded in the American culinary experiences. So, like everywhere from like a fast food place like Applebee's have
Yeah.
some form of Mexican dish, and Mexican food is everywhere and embedded in everywhere. How has Mexican cuisine inspired your cooking as a Caribbean chef?
Well, so like for Mexican cuisine now, it's all about bold flavors, and as I said earlier, that food is universal. And just to go back a bit, so recently, IKEA did this jerk chicken and rice and bean, which I use green peas, and they came under backlash because persons were saying it's what's the word, the cultural appropriation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I'm like, there is no such thing as cultural appropriation. And I was defending IKEA because food is a universal language. And we Caribbean people, we are so defensive of our food. It's good and well that we do that. But at the same time, what I consider it as is cultural appreciation. And we all as chefs play with different culture food. So
Mm-hmm.
why wouldn't culture play with our food? It's not like they were mocking it or something like that. They were trying to serve it to their people. When I went to culinary school on a Friday, IKEA was trying to give Jamaican a strength. They were Adrian, Fort Feed. So when I went to culinary school, so at culinary school, Red River College, I was doing hotel and restaurant management. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I studied as well. On a Friday, they would have like Korean beef and jerk chicken patties with chutney and a slaw or something. And for me, I felt good when I go to the canteen and I see they were thinking about my country.
Mm-hmm.
It might not taste the same way as how grandma would do it, but at least they tried. So as a chef now, and a food writer, that's what I try to do in my articles, try to teach you about food and culture. So as you ask, about Mexican cuisine, because for us as Jamaican, back in the days when different people came to the island, they all brought their food. It's a
Mm-hmm.
black people thing. We go on beach trip, we are travel, we are carry food, right?
Yep.
When the people, we love food, we are food people, naturally. So these people came to the island. The Indians came, they brought their curry, their spices. The African came, they brought the jerk. The Tainos, they brought the food. So nothing wasn't really in Jamaica. The ackee, the breadfruit, they brought it to the island. So when I make a curry, somebody from Trinidad said, oh, I said Jamaican curry goat then, for example. Somebody said, I thought curry was Trinidad. I'm like, no, we have curry too in Jamaica. We have, better
Mm-hmm.
curry. So the Mexican food now is a spicy flavor, bold flavors, the salsa, all these stuff with a little Italian in it. And so it's all diverse. So the Italian has, so every culture itself has something from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, think of the Maya Day and the question. So for us, it's all about the spice because that's one characteristic of our food. It's a
Mm-hmm.
spice. So they use lots of jalapeno. Just like for us, we pride ourselves on Scotch bonnet.
Yep. For us
So
too.
they pride themselves on jalapeno. The same thing for us. So we will do like a jerk chicken, taco, nachos, all these stuff because we like jerk. It's just the same thing.
Yeah,
And then I
definitely.
always say, which most people might agree, is that Jamaica don't have a lot of food per se. All we have is just jerk chicken, we have curry goat, da 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 da. But other culture has that too. But what we have is flavor. Lemongrass, but yes, lemongrass is also in another culture too. And it was brought to us. But we have lemongrass, we have Scotch bonnet pepper, we have pimento, we have all these stuff to use. We have Cersei. So it's just for us as chefs to use these flavors in a right way that will represent, our country.
No, I definitely agree. Like even in my culture as well, like the food that you're talking about is very similar. Like for us, we use Scotch bonnet heavily, like when we're
Yeah.
cooking rice or if we're doing anything in our meat. We don't have jerk as well, but we have like the stewed chicken, we have the black rice. But I always believe, like especially in the Caribbean, like even though we may have different names for the food, there's so many similarities
Yeah,
amongst
there is.
each other. Very
Yeah.
similarities with each other.
Like baked and fried dumpling, all these
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
like you guys
somewhat
have
similar.
festival, we have dumpling.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely
Like we
understand what
have
you mean
in
about
our
that.
soup, so in our soup and in our stew peas, we have like spinners. The Italian they have gnocchi, which is like small dumpling. It's somewhat similar, but they use potato. We don't just flour, water, salt, make a dough. Same thing. Food is just universal and it brings people together. So when I
Definitely.
hear people talking about cultural appropriation, I'm like you people way out of pocket.
I think because in the article, there's multiple articles. I think it's because the people who are cooking the food are not giving a little piece of the narrative. You see, for example, like, you give a little piece of your history, of your narrative of Jamaican food and Jamaican culture, and you also write that um, in your columnist on the newspaper. However, I think they were trying to say is maybe like, for example, there are Caucasian chefs who are cooking Mexican food, but they're
Yeah,
not
but
really giving the narrative behind it.
yeah.
Maybe that's what they mean. I'm not sure, but that's the perception I received.
All right. So I got some of my chef friend here watching, big up Chef Sweeney and Jam Chef
Hello.
watching, big up on yourself. Yeah, so when I work in the hotel at Indonesia and all these places, we have Friday night where we do the seafood thing with mussels and all these stuff, white wine, and we tag it Bahamas. We have oxtail, Jamaica, we have something Trinidad. I'm not from Trinidad, I'm not from Barbados. But at the same time, we're doing their food because we can read a recipe. It's like a book. We can read it, we understand it, so we can cook it. We're not from there. And back in the days, which most chefs don't understand, right? So back in the days in Jamaica, you find lots of white chefs in the hotel, being executive chefs. And they would say, oh, they're not rate the black chef, and they're not this the black chef, and the black chef this and blah. But what happened is that sometimes we ourselves don't respect or appreciate our culture itself. Because I'm in Jamaica hotel working, and all I want to do is pasta. All I want to do is French this, French that, and we overlook our Jamaican food. We don't try to think as chef, how can we elevate it? So the first thing we think of, if we think of something fancy, is overseas we think of. So I did an interview back recently in Jamaica at a well-known hotel, and they wanted to employ me. And the reason why is because you're looking for a chef. They want the owner for the hotel want an international chef. Color doesn't matter, but they wanted to employ me because one, I'm not international, and two, I'm a Jamaican chef. But what they want is, how can we go to the market, right, and put yam on a plate, a yam ragu? We can do we can use plantain now and make lasagna. Instead of pasta, we use plantain and make lasagna, stuff like that. How can we use beetroot and make some beetroot bread, beetroot butter, all these stuff, use the food that we have and be creative. Because when people come to Jamaica, they don't only come for the sand and beach, they come for the food and the culture. And our food is our culture. So how can we sell our culture through our food? But no, we think of lamb rock, where French style and all these stuff. Yeah, man. Plate. Yeah, man. Chef Sweeney, big up yourself, my boss in the building. Yeah, man. So, yeah, man. So these are some great chefs as well from Jamaica who, repping the black, green, and gold. And Chef Sweeney is like, my boss, my mentor. I'm like, work with him a lot. And that's just the thing. So, and that's where the whole misunderstanding come in when they say, oh, they might employ a white chef. But the white chef, most of them I'm walking on the road, they hear some car pass, and I'm listening to some Bob Marley. These white chefs, them can tell you about some places at Jamaica where you don't know. They can tell you about some food, some this, some that, making some stuff because they spend time to study our culture. Then guess what we say? Oh, they steal it from us. It's like same thing with music. You'll find these Justin Bieber, these white guys, whatever. They study our craft, they study our rhythm, the Africanness, while we are studying somewhere else. So we need now to just take a stand and focus on our culture, our food. How can we elevate it?
I definitely agree. I go to Jamaica a lot. Like that's pretty much my second home. My family and my partner and I, we go to Jamaica a lot, and also the Caribbean. That's actually one of the major topics among us
Yeah.
because every time we stay at a hotel property, we was just there pretty much in November. We stayed at the Ziva in Zalara. The food is good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
But for me, food is definitely important.
Yeah.
And it's very important for the chef to definitely hold on to their culture and try to find
Yeah.
ways to elevate their culture, their cuisine. But it's
Yeah.
also, it's not only the chef, but it's also the hotel brand. The hotel brand also needs to, understand that Jamaican culture Jamaican food can be elevated.
Yeah.
It's not only the chef, but it's also the hotel properties
Yeah.
there because I have stayed in multiple places where,
Yeah.
they're serving mostly pasta, they're serving French, they're serving this. Whereas me, I want authentic Jamaican food. So majority of the time, I'm usually off property eating food, whether I'm going to the jerk stand, like where locals go, because I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
authentic cuisine. It's
I think
important, especially for that.
I think since of late, it's changing now with the whole gastronomy and everything that's happening, and it's changing a bit. Um, in the hotels, not so much because now we have like breadfruit fries. We use a lot of sweet potato fries now.
Hmm.
Um, even like same ton corn meal, like we have ton corn meal in Jamaica, and if you in a certain restaurant serve ton corn meal, them say, oh, a dog food that because they usually serve that to the dog. But when you go to a fancy restaurant, them serving polenta. So all they did now is change the name on you and call it polenta. It's the same ton corn meal. But because for us as Jamaicans, right, ton corn meal is because we never know the correct name. So what we did, most of our dishes are named after the technique. So tonka meal keep on stirring, 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 stirring. So it's a tonka meal. We have like drops, the coconut with the sugar and stuff. So because we drop it, they call it drops. Grater cake. It's the same coconut, and because it's grated, you call it grated cake. So back in the days, most of our food named after the technique. You
Oh,
understand?
okay.
So yes. So that's what happened. So like ton corn meal, it's known for us. So like in my book, I have a Parmesan baked ton corn meal. So all you do is make a ton corn meal. On top you put some Parmesan and some breadcrumbs and you bake it off nice. It's still creamy, but have a nice texture on top. That's a way of just changing the game a little. And if you want, you can also freeze those, bread them and fry them, and make ton corn meal sticks.
Definitely, definitely. Hold on, Chef Noel. I just got a notification that we only have a minute and 20 seconds.
Oh,
We can
yeah, I forgot.
definitely continue. We can definitely continue the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to end it so we can start over. So, guys,
Yeah.
whoever's tuning in, please give us like 1 second so we can end the IG live and start back over and join Global Taste and Chef
Johnny
Noel for
Convo.
continued
Yeah.
conversation on the convo. Okay, guys, so stay tuned. I'll be right back.